Hi, and welcome to Book Chat. I'm your host, Arthur Vivian E. Moore, and today we're talking paper or plastic. Wait before you flip out on me. We're not talking paper bags and the plastic ones that you get from your local grocer. No, today we're talking about paperback books versus ebooks. I just want to do the pros and cons of that. Um, I am a traditional book reader, but also I like the functionality of having ebooks because you can take them everywhere you go. But as a child, the public library was one of my favorite places to visit, especially during the summer. And it was just something about going to the library. It's the smell of it and just seeing all of the books with the different colored spines and things of that nature, just rows and rows of books. It did something for me. I never lost that feeling that I got whenever I walked into a library or a bookstore. I was like a child in a candy store. I just lost my mind when I saw books, just everywhere around me. With today's technology, everything is geared toward the electronics, is geared toward convenience, and that's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing because this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do the pros and cons of paperback versus electronic books. I'm an avid reader, if you haven't guessed by now, uh, the topic of the show, book chat. Um, but um, but I like all kinds of books, all subject matters, all genres of books. I don't limit myself in that because although I am a romance writer, but I read everything, all types of books, especially sci-fi. I am a big fan of. But I just want to know what people prefer, and you can call and chat with me. And you can like the show, please, on Facebook, or you can like it also on Spreaker. You can you can Google me, Vivian E. Moore, on Spreaker.com. It'll bring me up, as well as the episodes that have been uploaded. You can also Google my Facebook page and my Twitter page, and also I have one other page. Let me think of it. Also, my Instagram page. You can find me on that and see if you want to know more about Vivian E. Moore, the person. Then you can definitely go to my Instagram page, and you'll see pictures of me and my family and things of that nature. But getting back to the show, I just want to know, for most people, some are strictly traditional, and they would not buy an e-reader to save their lives. And for those people who prefer paperback books, is it because of the texture of the coverings, or is it because it's just a real book, something where there's actually paper pages that you can literally turn with your fingertips? Is it that, or is it the scent, like it as when I was a child, and the smell of books just it whetted my appetite. It was for me, it meant that I was going on a new adventure, that I was going to learn something that day. And then it's the history that's in those books, that are in those pages, and and it's taken on its own personality. And that's just something that you can't get with an e-reader. But again, I'm very versatile. I like paperback and I like ebooks as well. But I want to know what you like. Um, Now, both forms are portable, and they fit in, women, ladies, they fit in your purse. Men, school children, they fit in your book bags, or whatever mode of form or that you use to transport your books in. They fit in that quite nicely. But with electronic devices, you don't have to worry about ripped or wrinkled pages when you put these pages inside, when you put those books inside of those objects to carry them around. Now, you don't have this issue with e-readers because most devices are equipped with cases that you can put them in, and it protects your e-reader from breakage if you should happen to drop it or spill something. The cover protects it from all of that. But with the e-reader, for those traditional paperback lovers that likes to actually touch books and turn pages, the e-books come equipped with that function as well. You can bookmark. You can do electronic bookmarks. Now you have to use paper bookmarks or some other form of bookmark if if you are reading a real paperback book. But with the e-readers, they come with all these different cool functions where you can even have the virtual page turners. You can flip it, take your finger, and either in the middle or at the top of the page, you can just turn it like you would a page on a book, and you can actually see it flutter across just like a real page. Also with e-readers, on most of them, or if you have that app on your iPad or your iPhone, or or any other type of smartphone that you may have where you can download apps to, they come with these functions. I know mine does. You can rewind and you can fast forward these books, and but these books that I'm talking about, rewinding and fast forwarding, these are actually ebooks or either the audio books where you can do that. You can it'll tell you the last page that you read. It'll time you to tell you how long it took you to read a chapter. It'll tell you how many pages are left in a chapter. And you can't do that with a paperback book. But with these e-readers, you can do all of those things. And I mean, it's just really cool. It's just really convenient if that's what you're into. Also, some people like reading while driving. I don't advise it, but because that's not a very smart thing to do. It's like texting and driving. That's something you don't want to do. But I'm talking about maybe passengers inside of the automobile with you. And ebooks are a great thing to have with you on long trips, and you can just bookmark where you are electronically if you have to get out of the car or something, or you can take it with you wherever you go. I mean, you can do the same thing with a paperback book, but the e-readers, and I am not just trying to sell you on getting a e-reader, but I like functionality, and I said that before, and I like portability, and I like convenience. Who does not like convenience? And so with these e-readers, they are perfect for that. And they come in so many different kind of formats. There are different kind of formats that's available with the e-readers. And I like the fact that that you can get the sometimes they have the audio download with the books. I know Audible has them with certain books, and you can get them for like $1.99, or you just have to shop around to see which one fits your pocketbook or your budget. But then they have the other books too that you can download that are ebooks, and some of those are a bit pricey, but still, it's good just to be able to have different ways of reading books. And I know that some people may be worried about losing data, If they have an ebook, something can happen, that can make it tear down, and then you've lost all your books. I mean, tear up and you've lost all your books. But you can also back up those books on the iCloud. You can save them to your device, or you can save them to the iCloud. With some e-readers, you can also back them up to your computer. So you always have a way of recovering your books, but you want to make sure that you're saving them to your iCloud. And it takes up less space too on your e-reader if you're doing that. And if you're saving everything to your device, then you're gonna run out of room pretty quickly if you are an avid reader. Especially if you're reading more than a book a day or a book a week, just put it that way. So you might want to save those to your iCloud. But don't get me wrong, I love paperback books, if only for the reason of seeing them on a bookshelf. I remember as a child, we always had books in the house. We always had bookshelves in the house. My mother read, and just about everybody in the house read. We always had books, whether it was encyclopedias, whether it was dictionaries. My older sister, she liked the True Detective novels and things of that nature. And it was actually my sister, that's like 5 years older than me, that gave me my first romance novel, and I was hooked from that moment on. I think I was about maybe 12 or 13 years old when I got hooked to romance novels. But I've been reading since I was 3 years old, so I've read from Dr. Seuss to everything, so but it's just that was just something that stuck with me throughout my childhood, to have books in the house, and I have books in my house to this day. I have grandchildren that are just now learning how to read, but they have a good selection and collection of books already, and we just want to maintain that tradition of giving them books to read, whether they're in the paper format or even if they're on the tablets that they have. We just want them to be able to read. Also, now we want to talk about price when it comes down to buying a paperback book versus an ebook, because we all know the price of books these days are like crazy. But especially if you like the hardcover books, now those books can be anywhere from $25 to upwards in cost, and then the ebooks are more economical if you get those. And two, a lot of authors are foregoing doing paperback books for ebooks, because you can do those in a matter of days, as opposed to having someone print a book for you. So that's something to think about as well. But because the ebooks are in such high demand now, because everybody has some form of electronic device in their house that they use for more than one thing or another. It used to be just the computers that were inside of the home that people used to basically go online or get onto the internet, and now you can do all of that from your smartphone or your tablet. So like I said, if you like convenience at your fingertips, then there you go. But with these with the e-readers, of course, you have to buy the e-reader, or either you can download the app. Like I said before, you can download them to your computer as well, but you can download them to your iPad or to your phone, and then from there you just have to download the books, which are remarkably cheaper than going to a bookstore and buying books. Now, I love books in any kind of way I can get them, but I don't ever want to see bookstores go away, and I've been reading that quite a bit online these days where they're saying that bookstores may become a thing of the past because everyone can buy their books electronically now, so you don't actually have to go into a physical brick and mortar store to purchase a book. But then you have so many people who don't have access to computers or any kind of other electronic device other than televisions or cell phone, and some don't even have those. So I don't want to ever see bookstores or libraries go away, because those are things that we need. Our children and grandchildren need to be able to walk inside of a library and see that this is how books, how we used to go to the library and read books. This is how you can also get books other than just uploading something or downloading something on a tablet or an e-reader. It's very crucial that they know, that they experience at least once going to a library or going to a bookstore, because then you can sit down and just tell them stories before they purchase a book, before you purchase a book for them. You can just talk to them about books, tell them about the process of how books are made, because I think that's very, very educational, to let them know that, so they can actually see a real book. Because to be quite honest with you, I don't even know if they still have paperback books in school, or if, I'm pretty sure they do. It's been a while since I've been inside of a school or a school library, so I'm not sure. I don't know if the teachers actually still sit down with the students, with the children, and tell them stories, read to them from books, from paperback books or not. But for those who haven't experienced that yet, they need to at least once go to a library or to a bookstore to see books in their natural state. Now, I think it was a few shows back where I shared with you some information about getting free ebooks. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to make mention of today, again, to let you know that on, I think it's BookBub, and it's a few more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but there are a few more where you can actually get free books, and these books comes in different formats. And as I said before, a lot of them comes with audio, and for me, I like reading while I'm working, and so I'm able to do that if I have the audio version of a book. It allows me to be able to listen, while I'm working. And I don't know if everybody is available or has that option to do that on their job, but that's another good point. That's another pro for e-readers, because you can't do that with a paperback book. But let's be practical for a moment. We all know how space is sometimes limited unless you happen to have your own personal library, and a lot of us don't have that. We don't have that problem with e-readers, because they take up hardly any space at all, and that's a good thing. You can have hundreds of books all downloaded on this one e-reader, so you never have to worry about having to dust them, or worry about moths eating up the pages, or damaging the pages, as the books get older. If you have ebooks, then those books are saved on your iCloud, or they're saved on your device for future reference, if you prefer. So that's just something else to think about. Now, there's some places where you can't take e-readers, and that's of course in showers or swimming, but you can't do that with a paperback book either. I just thought I'd throw that in there for you. But you can take ebooks. You can take paperbacks into the bathroom with you as well. But with these e-readers, if you're trying to get housework done, or you're washing dishes, if you have the audio book saved on your e-reader, then you can still do all of your household chores while you're reading. So the functionality of ebooks is just, to me, it's just everything. Because like I said, I love reading, and I've waken up in the middle of the night and opened up my iPad and went to my Kindle app and pulled up a book, one that maybe I started reading and didn't finish reading, but with these apps that are available on these e-readers, like I said, you bookmark the page and it takes you back to the page where you stop reading. So I love that, because I have so many books, and I can't keep up with every single one of them on my own as to where I started reading and where I stopped reading. But with these different functions on the e-readers, it does all of that for you. It stores all of that knowledge for you. And another thing that I like too about the Kindle app is when you finish reading a book, you can rate it right there, and you can suggest that book to someone else. You can also lend those books that you have. You can lend them to other people from your library, and that's a great thing, to be able to lend books that you've read and that you've enjoyed, to share those with someone else. I've done that before on several different books that I've read. I've lent them to other people to read, to enjoy as much as I did. But also, you can, on these e-readers, you can alphabetize your books, or you can put them in order of oldest to newest. It's just so many different things that you can do with your books on the e-reader that you can't do with a paperback book. Now, I don't think that I will ever stop reading paperback books, because I just want to share this with you. My sister I told her that she is a book hater. She loves books, but she has not learned that you don't abuse them. You don't dog-ear the pages. You don't take the books and place them open on a table, because it damages the spine of the book. You have to take care of it. And for people like her, maybe ebooks are better, because she don't have to worry about that. All she has to do is electronically read the book and just set the e-reader down somewhere when she's finished with it, or if she's taking a break from it. So for people who are like my sister that abuses books, this may be the thing for you. Also, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is both are great to have, the paperback books and the ebooks, whether you're traditional or tech savvy. The bottom line is, just to corner phrase from Burger King, you can have it your way. I know that was so very corny, but it's the truth. You can, as long as you love books, as long as you love reading, you should be able to read those books in any format that you desire. And if you like convenience, which most people do, then ebooks are the thing. And like I said, I hope that paperback books, libraries, bookstores, I hope those things will never go away, because they're very vital to the education of our children and our grandchildren, of children in general. They need to know the process of how these books made it into those buildings, and not just think that ebooks are is the only way that you can read a book, to read it electronically, because they need to be introduced to having a actual book in their hands. and learn how to appreciate those things. Learn how to appreciate books. And I know that they probably have books in school as far as the subjects that they take, but I mean those are books designed for teaching as well, but just for their own reading pleasure, to just gain a library of stories throughout their lives that they can, keep those books in their hearts and in their minds. They definitely need to visit a library or visit a bookstore at some place and time. And the bookstores now are so children friendly. I mean, they have sections of books, especially for children of all ages. They have little corners in the bookstore where you can actually sit down with your child and have a story read to them by one of the persons that work in the bookstore. They have people that, based on your children's preference, whatever it is that they like to read, they have people available to actually help them choose the right books for them. So, I mean, it's a wonderful experience to be able to take your child into a bookstore. I'm sorry, I had to take a sip. My voice was going there. And let them experience that. One of my great experiences as a child, as I said before, was actually going into the library. And it really wasn't close to our house, but it was in walking distance. And I would take one of my nieces with me. This is when we were both children, and we would go to the bookstore. And I had actually forgotten about that experience, but she reminded me one day that we used to do that, and we would go and just sit, get books, and stay there for hours. There was we didn't sit at home and play video games and do all of this stuff. We actually went to the library and read books. That was our form of recreation. That's what we did. And so I know a lot of children haven't experienced that yet, but they should. As parents, we should really, really, really spend time and take these children on these field trips and let them experience the love of books as I do. You'll hear me say that, in all of my shows, that I am a lover of books. You've heard people say that they are a connoisseur of this or connoisseur of that. I'm not saying that I am a professional or the most experienced or the most learned person, but I love books. I love knowledge, and the best way to get it is to pick up a book and read. And I can't stress that enough. Whether you want to go to the library, bookstore, if you want to download your books, however you want to do it, just make sure that at some point in your life that you read. I don't really see a way around not reading. It should be a part of everyone's daily life. And I don't care if it's a book that or a subject that you like or whatever it is. You need to spend some time with the book, because it is the most rewarding experience that there is. I just can't say it enough. I really can't. Reading is, not only fundamental, but it's important. And we should start children at an early age by reading to them, first of all, and then sitting down with them, and let them tell the story by what's on the pages. And the more that they see this, because children learn by repetition, the more that they see the stories on the pages, and you tell them what the words are, they will eventually learn. So it is rewarding to be able to do that with a child. I have enjoyed so much talking about the pros and cons of paperback books versus ebooks. And I'm pretty sure that there are other people who have probably had the same discussion and probably more in depth than what I've gone over today. But I just wanted to just touch bases on why I think ebooks and paperback books are a great thing to have. Next week, on next week's show, we're going to talk about romance. We're going to get back to romance, and I just want to know what you think makes a good story for a romance. So we'll have some of my favorite recipes for how I come up with my romance stories, and I would love to know what you think makes a good romance, a good story for a romance. We still have a few minutes left here on today's show, and I just want to say that if you're listening to the show, or if you listen to the downloaded episodes of the show, please like the show, like it on my Spreaker page. Please leave your comments, because I would love to have feedback from you. Like me on Facebook, like me on Twitter. I download my episodes instantly to both of these social media outlets, and also to iTunes. So and iHeartRadio as well. I would love to hear back from you, get some feedback back from you. Let me know what you would like to hear me talk about on Book Chat, because that's what it's about. Books, talking about authors. My show is primarily to just uplift other writers and authors, to inspire them to not give up on their dreams, to build their format, to reach out to people, because that's what I do. That's my purpose, is to write books for people. I don't write them for myself. I write them for people, and that's why I wanted to do this show, because I wanted to talk about more than just being an author, but about my love of books, and I wanted to share that with people, because I think it's very rewarding, very worthwhile for someone who may not have a positive outlook on what they're doing, because things are not happening as fast as they want them to. But, with all things, it takes time, and you have to be patient, but most importantly, you have to be diligent. You can't give up. You have to keep going. And, and just sometimes people can say things to discourage you, but that's why I'm here, to encourage you, not to listen to the negativity, or not to let it get you down, or in a place to where you just want to give up. So I want to inspire you, and I hope that I have inspired you. I hope that I am inspiring you to go further, to reach further, because that's my goal. I want to change the world. I want you to see the world through your own eyes, one page at a time. That's my motto for this year, and I really truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want to touch as many people as I can, reach as many people as I can. I see it as a ministry, not only am I a writer or a published author, but I feel that this is my ministry, to minister to individuals, to shed some light on writing and being an author, and just books in general. We're coming down to the last few minutes of today's show, and again, I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you today, and I look forward to chatting with you again at this same time, 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Please check out my webpage that's on Wix. You can Google me for that as well, and just leave comments on it. Just browse the webpage and tell me if you like it. I have several that are out there. I'm still working on one that has not been published yet, but as soon as I do get that one published, I generally let everyone know on Facebook or Twitter. Again, please leave your comments. Leave them on this episode. Sorry. Once you listen to it, at the bottom of the page, you can add your comments. You can also like the episode. And I know that you're listening because I see those in the stats, that you're listening to the show. And I do appreciate it. I thank you very, very much. And ask that you share the show's dialogue with as many people as you will. I appreciate that. Again, thank you. And I look forward to chatting with you again. God bless.